Hello YouTube, welcome to the final episode of my TV anime Revue Starlight reaction series covering episodes 11 and 12, plus the specials, which I just had a look at and are quite short, so I should be able to cover those as well today. I was worried if they were a tad longer, I'd need to cover them in a different video. So last week on Revue Starlight, we had episode 10, and episode 10 had some stuff it did really well, and some stuff it didn't do so very well. At all, really. So I guess we'll see which side of that line we fall on with these final two, knowing that that movie's pretty well liked, so whatever happens, they've still got that movie to look forward to as well. Got the YouTube comments up here ready to go. We're going to start with a Ultimate, I'm going to say again. There's so much I want to say for how things end up by the end of this episode, but it's all in context of either the next episodes or the movie, so I can't say any of it. And I'm getting this feeling from a lot of the comments here today that they want to say a lot of stuff about what I said last week, but they can't. Because there's future content that'll cover it. This only gives me comfort. So I know that this gets addressed at some point, whatever qualms or queries I had about last episode. There is stuff on the horizon that will clear things up. I was a little bit worried last week that I was just a little bit stupid, but I think I'm meant to be stupid at this point in the story, which is good. Next comment here by Sophie. Yeah, this episode really suffered from the production issues, which we talked about in great detail last week. Luckily, the final two episodes, especially the movie, managed to recover from this. I can't stress enough how immensely upgraded the animation in the movie is, which is the way for a lot of anime, really. I'm excited for you to get to it because it's amazing. I can't wait as well. I hear it's really good. Claudine got done pretty dirty in the main series, unfortunately. She's the only girl without a proper solo review in the show. She also never really got a full episode focus like the others. It's a shame because that means her and Maya's stuff gets somewhat glossed over, but it's just what happens when you have a limited number of episodes to work with. I've seen this story before. The French is pretty stilted, but it's passable in the end. I think another comment goes into it as well. It's actually kind of better that Maya's in particular is kind of bad, because Maya's not bad at anything. Maya's pretty perfect. So showing her own imperfection in trying to learn a little bit of French to relate to Claudine is just wonderful. It's beautiful. So yeah, again, a lot of the Claudine stuff is subtext, but because it's not shown in a very great way in the show. But one of her deepest worries is that the relationship isn't reciprocal. And this proves her wrong, which is good and really gay, which we say as well, because it is. This was a very interesting detail as well. Star Divine finale, the kind of song from last episode as well, sounding a little bit more generic, it's actually the song from the original stage play. So it's probably one of the first things that they made. It was definitely composed to be more of a song than a proper instrumental accompaniment to a revue. So just a little bit of a different focus there, and you can definitely tell. It's just a different style of music. And again, very, very early on in the show's, or the concept's conception, was when this song was made, so that's why it sounds like it does. Fun little observation for the insane people, like me. At the end of the Fly Me to the Stars duets, the characters are usually shown standing in a spotlight of their own representative image colors, but in Maya and Claudine's case, they're staring in each other's colors instead. Great. I like the insane people stuff. That's Monogatari really good at that. Next comment here, Egg on Head. Star Divine is one of the earliest songs produced for the franchise, probably why it sounds kind of generic, as I said last week. Yeah, again, just kind of shuffling around ideas, looking for what they were actually trying to do with what they have going on, and I think they found their rhythm and their niche a little bit more later on. I think, yeah, in combination with the song being kind of predictable and the events of what played out being kind of predictable as well, of course, the right duet won. Like, that's what was supposed to happen, you know? On the bright side, things get better from now on. I have no clue about French, but as far as I know, Maya's French is bad, like really bad. But since she made the effort of learning just to get a little bit closer to Claudine, it's okay. I would argue that it's actually really good. I do remember this one detail about the Clockwork Orange poster as well. It's not even Clockwork Orange, it's Clockwork Omerice, because if I recall, child actor Claudine was the main character in a stage play with that title, which of course doesn't add anything of real substance to the plot, but it's one of those fun things to look back on. It would also explain why the poster's in her room. So yeah, I think that's a great use of like a nod that the director wanted to put in, but also justifying it in the world. I think that's pretty good for a little Easter egg. M. Marsh, next comment here. I like the episode, mostly due to the stuff we've mentioned already, but probably the roughest part of the series. I think the recap movie improves a ton on this episode in particular. The only real change it makes is having a new Revue song, Star Diamond, that fits it better, but otherwise it just condenses it down to like 8 minutes without even cutting anything of note. So yeah, that, I think one of my comments last week was about the pacing of the episode. It feels way slower, and again, I think a lot of that's to the production, but I also think there's not a ton of content there. It's no Symphogear episode, I'll give you that one right now. So condensing it down probably just makes it flow a little bit better for a recap movie, which makes a lot of sense. I think the ending bit with Maya saying she hasn't lost is supposed to mirror Claudine from the previous year's Starlight. I also like that the French, since it implies Maya either learned French because of Claudine or she just knew French for the year, they've been going to school together and just never brought it up, which would be funny but probably less likely implication. Claudine blushing and looking away when she realizes Maya understood everything she just said is great. Oh yeah, that's actually totally the implication of the scene that I only got just this second. I like thinking that she didn't know that she knew French and then saying something embarrassing. I think that's very on brand. Bamps with the next comment here, or next couple of comments actually. I thought I had. Banana doesn't know what happened to the girl's glimmer at the end of the competition, does she? As whenever she won, it just looped, so she wouldn't have experienced or seen the dulled drive and passion that Hikari saw, which is probably why she was so nonchalant while watching the duet. Interesting, so she doesn't know potentially what she's in for if a similar situation. Again, we need to speculate on what Hikari's wish potentially even is. Bamps has some thoughts that Hikari's wish is for Karen to forget the promise that they made and for Karen to become the top star so that Hikari doesn't have to watch her friend slip away into that dulled state. Interesting. Like with the whole wish thing, like we're getting into Madoka areas where you could just kind of make wishes that cancel the entire show if you're powerful enough. You know what I mean? Spoilers for Madoka, by the way. In relation to the steaming of cakes, I was at a barbecue over the winter, and one of the things we tried was smoking cupcakes. Shit was delicious. I recommend trying it out. Yeah, I would never have considered this in a million years. Just the cupcake pan straight onto like the barbecue as you would the oven. I guess. I mean, it would need to be something that goes with a little bit of a smoky flavor, IMO, but that would work, I think. Next comment here by Ryan. There's one shot showcasing Claude's trophies, and one of them says granted by Tendo, which presumably is Maya's relative, father in fact. So this one shot really highlights Claude's complicated feelings towards Maya, just the details on character building the staff members are trying their best to do even with the budget problems, and yes, unfortunately we don't get a real Claudine personal episode with the constraints they had to focus on the relationships between the characters rather than the characters themselves. I also think Maya saying I haven't lost makes sense. She's just like Claudine. As long as she doesn't give up, she will not accept the loss. Interesting. So I think in a perfect world there is a episode that goes a little bit into this kind of stuff, but I mean it's there for the diehards in the background. Is that okay? I don't know. I don't know. It depends on how these two episodes go and how I feel. I guess close loopy wise. Do I feel satisfied with our conclusion leading into the movie is the question for today for sure. And last comment here today, Avoli Ravioli, kind of wanting to go into spoilers like a lot of other people, but are unable to at this moment in time. And just, yeah, it goes into a bit of their own understanding about the Claudine Maya situation and how kind of those lines at the end where I thought a different thing would happen, kind of justifying the thing that did happen, which I think is fair enough, right? Also, a particular note that I'm sure some has mentioned before, but like kind of the weapons taking on the physical form of the girl's shine, hence why Hikari's was so small at that point in time. And yeah, just obviously gushing about everything that went on as well, which is nice to see. Kind of covering a lot of stuff we've done already, including the French and the kind of the backstory that's implied and that kind of stuff. Time to recap just 10 quickly before we go into 11 and 12. Episode 10 starts with Hikari talking about how much Karen means to her and stuff, which becomes one of the major themes for the episode. It's the last day of auditions, and all the girls are excited for the last chance that they'll have for attaining the top star position. Maya and Claudine spend the day practicing, whilst Karen and Hikari spend the day reminiscing and reinforcing their personal connections, demonstrating the contrast between the two and how they practice and how their relationships are formed. One relationship truly competitive and another relationship a little bit more equal and cooperative. Then we go to the underground theater and the giraffe is put on a revue duet. Karen and Hikari versus Maya and Claudine. They just kind of fight and then Karen and Hikari win. With the song, again, probably not even really providing that much extra detail, IMO. Claudine can't really deal with Maya losing, but is reassured by Maya in the end, kind of the French scene that we've been talking about. The draft then surprises Hikari and Karen, the two winners, with the Revue of Tragedy, where Karen is pitted against Hikari for the top star position for reasons that I'm sure we'll go into at some point. Hikari eliminates Karen. More will be revealed, I feel, around this and what Karen's wish, or Hikari's wish, I should say, will be. It'll be interesting to see, kind of in the production of this episode, have we taken the blip? Will we still have a few issues here and there, or will the episodes be mostly pretty good? I doubt we'll get something episode 8 standard again, but you can only hope, right? Predictions? I don't really have any. Kinda. Like, I mean, I think that Hikari's going to make some kind of wish that she thinks will make things better, but maybe overly selfless in a way that Karen doesn't really appreciate if and when she learns about said wish. This wish as well could be setting up stuff for the movie, but then what the hell do we do for 40 minutes of television that I'm going to be watching today? I don't know. Either way, I'm going to do my shill stuff. If you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation, comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you'd like me to follow you back, and the Discord, join Discord, love Discord, Discord, and yeah, jumping into episode 11 of Revue Starlight right now. Rightio, got episode 11 up here ready to go. Let me pop that up there. 24 minutes and 5 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly. I'll have the picture-in-picture version for you in the description below if you need it. Just going to give it a 3, 2, 1. Rightio? 3, 2, 1, go. Picking up exactly where we left off. Oh, she fell in the water. Yes, what is happening? Yes. Give me my tiara. Fuel. It most certainly has. Are they all hearing this too? That's kind of scary. Banana in particular would be aware of this. Yeah. Huh? Okay. So you're not going to take their fuel, you're going to fuel it on something else. Up to and including your own blood? She won. But at what cost? Alright. Are we going to hear what that stage is? I know that you're powering it on your own blood, which is no good. What's Karen thinking? Okay, opening to talk about things. Yeah, so as opposed to taking a little bit of everybody else, she's sacrificing all of herself to make something happen, whatever that may be. I would imagine Karen's still pretty stunned at this point, doesn't really understand what's going on. The only one that really understands what's going on is probably Banana, who's like, oh, that's what I've been doing, or that's what I could have been doing this entire time. I guess the kind of like aspect that Banana's stealing from everybody else to power this is their futures. I guess, right? Metaphorically, maybe not literally power system wise, but you know what I mean. Interesting. Okay. I mean, I knew it was going to be self-sacrificey, but yeah, the blood on the hand implies some bad things about how Hikari's going to go here. Wow. Okay. What has occurred? Okay. Show me a safe Hikari, please. Uh. Okay, so Hikari withdrew. Okay. Giraffe sticker or stamp. How do you quit school without saying anything? Well, this reminds me of episode 4, like looking for Hikari. Ooh, interesting. Does she like even exist? Or is her phone just off? The disappearance of Kagura Hikari. Okay, the next day. It's her book, correct. Okay, the next day. Oh, is she ringing the old school? Still looking for her. I agree. I think she's removed herself from existence. Who is Haruhi Suzumiya? I'm hanging out at the aquarium. This is terrible, by the way. This is just really sad. Like you've spent this like whole show building up this relationship too. Okay. Yeah. Just kind of like how it played out before. Is that Claudia and Maya in the leads? Yep, that's making that episode 10 stuff hit a bit harder for sure. 7 months? Okay. That was a great Oh, and you're still trying? Okay, that's fucked. Okay, that's really sad. I wonder where she is. You know what I mean? Like, if is she cognizant of this right this second? It's very cold today too. Lucky I have the heater on, so I'm in a t-shirt. I mean, the cold is metaphoric as well, right? Missing that warmth of the relationship. Love how supportive, excuse me, Mahiru's being. I think it's really good. Oh, it's like the letter from episode 8. They're laying it on pretty thick, and it's pretty good. I'll say that. Yeah. Feels like when she elected to separate herself from Karen, right? Evolved Starlight. Did that say the letters have been returned? Okay, so we're going right up to the performance. Because it's like, I'll stay overnight. Oh, sure. Whatever you say. I'll have it. Ah, who spoke? What's Karen doing? And I think she's just in Depression Central, which is fair enough. Yes. How did you know? You wouldn't get it. Okay, apologies are good. We appreciate apologies. Hmm. Potentially missing some kind of glimmer. But what does that mean? A bit more of a metaphorical glimmer. At least they will already know the lines. Or they said they were changing the script, now I remember. You're pretty justifiably distracted. Your significant other is not here and is missing. Oh, okay. So okay, I'm right. Look at that. It's the very same lines when Hikari lost her glimmer. At least it's happening like during auditions and not like on stage. I think your plan's backfiring a little bit, Hikari. Yeah, it's true. Those lines that were kind of obscure in the beginning. Oh, and then yeah, okay. So now she's coming to that realization. Gotcha. Again, that laying it on pretty thick. But again, this is your classic penultimate episode, which means there has to be some kind of like leap out of it at some point. Okay, and then explaining it to everybody. I like this. I like that we're letting everybody know. That's from like episode 1 as well. She made a self-sacrifice. But she didn't realize that Karen's glimmer was synonymous with her, you know? Hikari's probably just like chilling downstairs or something. I didn't even register she was in the bed. I think I'm stupid. Yeah, one person falls and is blinded, whilst another stays up the top and remembers everything, right? You're doing great, sweetie. Keep going. It'd be good to get her English up to scratch. Great. Okay, that's great. She's putting in the effort there. Specifically, like her copy, too. Yeah. Okay. What else? Yeah, blinded. Oh, I never knew that part. Okay, so she's in prison. Probably in the tower there somewhere, right? The Tokyo Tower. Yeah. There's actually a little bit. There's a little bit more. Which means there's still, like, room for things to be better. She could become not blind. Well, that was pretty slick. I liked that. Oh, so the same song. I think this is like the Starlight song, right? Like the play. Oh, don't damage school property. It's got the pickaxe out. Yeah, I didn't Starlight with you yet. Oh, did we win? Ooh. What does blue mean? Oh, red and blue. That's pretty clever. I like that. It's time to go. The elevator staircase? of Doom. It's time to go. Yeah. Go down and have a look. What's the worst thing that could happen? Okay, definitely like a storeroom. Interlude. Being a stage girl. Yeah, this really fits the scene already. I'm trying to keep my back straight. Oh. You're here too? Oh, it's like summary. Are we going to have a little talk with everybody? Ooh. I like the dut. Okay. If I find her, which still isn't, we're not sure about, are we getting like everybody singing? It feels like it. Yeah. Look at this. This is all the Mahiru stuff. Thank you. Thank you, Mahiru. Yeah. Self sacrifice. Okay. Thanks, Banana. This is like the platforming stage that Hikari was doing in like episode 3 as well. Yeah, stage girl stuff. Resurrects. Determination. Yeah. Thank you. This is all well and good, but we still have like another episode. so so something has to occur. You know what I mean? It's time to go to the theatre. Yeah, see how the A's big? I'm trying to be funny. Yeah, that was a very effective sequence. And not really like that high budget either. I thought it was really good. Is she like stuck in there? Because that's like fucked up. That's not a lot of room. Oh. Oh, that's cute. Like, because this is all the text that she's sent. Do you remember the promise we made? Does she? Oh, it's open. Yes. Oh, like same thing when entering the classroom. Oh, is that it? Okay, alright. Thank God that I have you guys to help me and told me to do these 2 episodes together, because like they almost need to be seen together. I imagine waiting a week after that. That's terrible. Yeah, I mean, they laid it on pretty thick. I'm gonna keep saying that, but I think it's justified. It's the major relationship in the show, and Karen, who's always like the excitable one and a little bit naive. We've talked about it, potentially arrogant. Well, I like this, like the furrowed brow as well. Like her coming to terms with some kind of negative consequence for what she has going on is satisfying, I think, right? I don't know. Even if like it's mostly still Hikari stuff, right? Like Hikari being like overly selfless and not understanding where Karen's glimmer even comes from, which is the grand tragedy of it all. Yeah, cool. One more episode. Oh, post credit. Oh, the snow because it got cold. Remember? Oh, she's like naked. Okay, interesting. Sure. Yeah, jumping into a quick little re-look on that episode. So, in kind of a similar vein to I think it was 2 weeks ago, I don't think there's much merit in me writing a summary for episode 11 of the TV anime leading into episode 12. Because I'm pretty sure when we start that movie, it's going to be something else entirely. So, it gives me an opportunity to jump right into what we have going on and theorize and talk about how it went and how it felt and all these other kind of things, right? Definitely got kind of emotional during it. Even if I didn't show it very well, which I never really do. Yeah, just certain details about like somebody just like going missing. Something about it really like it's in everything in real life, in fiction. Like somebody disappearing without a trace. See, it leaves so much like untied. You know, there's no closedness to any of it, right? There's no closure. That's the word. No closure. Um, which leaves a character who potentially we've talked about it, potentially naive in Karen, at a little bit of a loss, and I think that's concerning. And I think they do a great job in the first half of the episode at establishing that. Um, Also, like how again Karen's glimmer came from a different place than Hikari thought, right? It was completely and totally focused on Hikari. Think back to episode 8 in that flashback where we see Hikari losing her glimmer. It wasn't exactly the stage stuff that really frightened her. From memory, it was a little bit more like treating the promise that they made with a little bit of like flippant nature, like forgetting it even slightly for a moment, which was, again, in her own mind, the most important thing in the world. So, I mean, listen, I'm going to keep saying it. I feel like Madoka vibes here, right? Where you can't just always get what you want. There's no sunshine and roses here. There's no. Like, everything has an equal and opposite reaction. I don't think we can just waltz in and claim Hikari and win, right? I should talk about the sequence leading up to that as well, which was kind of this musical medley, which I'll read the lyrics for in due time, displaying the different kind of stage effects of the various girls, and what their stages are and how they're all, you know, helping to lead up to this moment, kind of playing out almost like a sequel to Starlight, right? Like, what if the goddesses of sin, whatever they're called, actually, helped to assist in this process in the end, right? But reuniting these two after everything that was done, I think that would be kind of cool, and that's the kind of vibe I'm getting there. But again, back to my major point, I don't think we can just like hold hands with Hikari and pull her out of there, and it's all going to be okay. I think that the draft's going to have something to say about it. Like, you can't just reinstate something like that back to the status quo without something else occurring somewhere. I'm not putting it beyond like friendship magic. I'll be pretty happy if that was the case because we'll get a nice little happy ending. But then what's the movie about? Anyway, I'm kind of rambling. This episode's kind of thrown me for a loop, but I thought it was really good. I think it was a better made episode than 10 last week, pretty obviously, and I think it hit its emotional high points where it was supposed to and did a really great job with some nice little character moments sprinkled through. And yeah, I'm just gonna give it a little rewatch. So Hikari, you've passed. The glimmer of the stage girls now belongs to you. Of course, Hikari's going to have some feelings about this. Fuel has been added and the hearth has been lit. The shot makes it seem like the girls are hearing this, but based on the rest of the episode, unless there's some kind of mind wipe thing going on, they can't have heard this, right? Because they're confused about everything that's happened and why Hikari did the things that she did, so I'm guessing they don't really remember any of this. So the subbing here is kind of weird. The giraffe asks, what stage do you want? And then Hikari says, I don't want it, which makes it seem like it's the stage, but in fact, I don't need any fuel. So I do have a stage, I do have a world stage. Kind of like Banana, like I do have something that I want the world to become outside of this, a wish. That's a word for it. But I don't want to use the same fuel system. And then we see her like squeeze a hand, and then the blood comes out, and it's like, oh, this is a perfect metaphor for a self-sacrifice. One that's pretty brutal at that. I don't really remember that many other times seeing like blood in the show, which is a weird thing to say, but yeah, I didn't think it was that intense. So yeah, this marks the end of the auditions. We see Hikari wearing that tiara, kind of closing her eyes, accepting what she has chosen. And then, yeah, this is POV. This is the last thing you see before you get shut away for like half a year. Light goes out. The audition process is over. It's all been decided. We even see this kind of tower here a little bit. Yeah. Potentially like some fairy tale shit where she's going to be up there in some capacity, right? There's a particular visual at the end of the episode that I wanted to talk about when it comes up, but I'll talk about it now because I'm talking about it. It's the whiteness of it all. It's the snow. Remember where they've always been kind of silhouetted by like a massive white background as it pertains to Tokyo Tower. So I think we're continuing that a little bit. Kind of different Tokyo Towers. One's toppled over, one's all icy, one's in sunny old Tokyo. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about here, like this kind of thing. It's kind of, I don't know, I see the connection at least. And then we go into this process. So one day after the final audition, then it'll be 2, then it'll be 3, then it'll be like a week, then it'll be like several weeks, and then it'll be 7 months, which is kind of continuously playing out the rest of the year. Kind of similarly to how we structured the banana episode, just, text on screen just explaining where we are. So after some establishing shots, the first thing we see is Karen dumbfounded. She does not understand why Kagura Hikari would withdraw from the academy. And it turns into a real, like, missing person type thing, right? Again, like, I commented in the moment, or at least tried to sneakily do it, about the disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya, which is a pretty famous little movie by Kyoto Animation, kind of the movie to the TV show, The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, which again, spoilers, kind of goes into something similar to this, where you're playing off a lot of the relationships that you supposedly like from the rest of the show, and that being taken away for whatever reasons, right? Where things just aren't the way they should be, and nobody seems to be taking it seriously but you. I get that kind of vibe here, and they both work for the same reason. At least, like, okay, at least you got Mahiru to help you. Mahiru is so supportive this episode. I really like it for her character. Like, putting that, it's not really bad blood anymore behind her, but really just, like, focusing on Karen's well-being in a really friendly way that I think exhibits the best aspects of her character. Very, very well done. And evidently, like this whole, so this is bullshit, right? Because we see this stamp here, like that's not a real stamp. That's giraffe stamp, which means like this isn't. You know what I mean? There has to be some kind of real world justification for Hikari to just leave and this is the best they could come up with, right? And because of the insane control we have over everything else in the world, this just sticks. And like nobody has any answers. So what did she say before leaving? Where did she go? How did she go? Who did she go? We get nothing. We try to call her number, but her number's like disconnected, which is insane. Like that. If what you say is true, why this? You know what I mean? Like there's something more supernatural afoot. Again, like a detail that I'm really, I guess, caught up on at the moment. Do they remember the day of the final audition? Do they remember that Hikari won? Do they remember that side of it? Because if they did, I'm sure that they would like zero in on her winning like immediately, right? I'm pretty sure they don't, because the whole part of it is like Karen coming to the realization that like the glimmer losing process, right? So 2 days after the final auditions, we see that Karen has found this book, which will become very important later for giving her that spark of hope. This is a great little part to kind of break up the episode, resolve the tension at least a little bit. So she's calling the school in England, the one that Hikari used to attend, and needs to speak a little bit of English to like ask them where she is or if she's returned or that kind of thing, right? Although I sometimes want to ask is not great either. It gets the point across, but it's a little bit convoluted. Like even going to the police to try to find her too. Like she just don't exist. And then whenever they bring it up, it's like, but she did leave like a goodbye thing at the school, so she must be fine. So that's not really how missing people works, but sure. Okay. So then the cops ask, so where did you last see her? And then Karen can't really remember. Interesting. Yeah, so there's definitely some forgetting stuff going on there. This as well, this is a real shortcut to make it be sad. Like a ton of like unreplied messages, right? To a potential missing person. You guys watching? I have some homework. Go watch A Place Further Than the Universe to the very end, and then come back and you'll see what I was talking about. So we get the main cast for the kind of 100th Starlight performance, right? Where Tendo Maya and Saijo Claudine are in the leads. It's pretty much playing out very similarly to the 99th, which I'm sure makes Banana very happy. Yeah, again, I've said it a number of times, they laid on pretty thick. Like Karen going to all these locations, even up to and including last episode where they had really great scenes together. Like really just helps to emphasize that separation, and then we see 7 months, and I'm like, oh shit, that's a long ass time to be feeling like these similar feelings. Yeah, and then just like still calling and getting to that message bank, that's, yeah, they nail it. I think that's really good. Getting up, putting that hairpin on her hair, similar to the first episode, we bring in the idea of cold versus warmth, which I'm sure the relationship between Hikari and Karen most certainly is. We bring this cold idea back at the very end, where we see kind of Hikari naked in the snowstorm with the tower toppled over, which is pretty good imagery. Left out in the cold. So however cold the cold banana may be right now, it pales in comparison. Oh, interesting. Little line there. It's the coldest it's been in years. I bet you've never experienced that kind of cold, banana. Kind of. Yes, this is a first, says banana. Like banana moving on. Like she wouldn't have experienced this level of cold because it wasn't cold that previous year up to this point. So she's having another first. Just continuing to reinforce that she did the right thing by letting the looping go. And then we're mirroring episode 8 here, right? Where we're sending these letters back over to Hikari in England or wherever she may be, to her old address anyway. Just, trying to get back into that rhythm. Anything that I can do that potentially has a chance of finding her, I'm going to try and do. Yeah, like huge swaths of this episode are just calling back to the rest of the show, which I think a good TV anime conclusion does. I think these are things that make a series seem whole, and that the individual episodes seem important, and the journey was building up to this one point. It's stuff you can do when you don't have a frickin' 600 chapter manga to adapt. This is the kind of stuff that separates anime originals, even though I know this isn't technically an anime original. Still has that same, I guess, freedom to do what they want. I'm sure, like, upon going back and seeing the first episode and seeing episode 8, you could create a lot of connections there, right? that they're doing kind of visually between the two episodes as well that I'm just forgetting at this time. We also see this here, Return Unknown. So we're sending a lot of these letters and they're just sending them back. That, like, clearly not correct. Clearly something's up, right? So staying overnight, I thought this implied that the performance was very, very, very soon. And maybe it still is, but I mean, we play it the next day and we're just kind of at school, not really doing the performance. Anyway, weird. Banana cooked something, so I wanted to shout that out because Banana's just epic. So I'm always going to shout it out when Banana does epic things. Why, bro? I'm ready to say it. You're just kind of a bitch. I mean, she wants a good performance, and she's just a little bit strict. I shouldn't be like mean. She clearly doesn't have all the context that we do about how down and out Karen is at this moment. So I should ease up. Ease up. She's doing her best. But yeah, this is kind of Karen's moment similar to Hikari in episode 8, where she lost her glimmer. This is Karen going through that same process. Yeah, going through that same set of dialogue. What's wrong with me? I don't feel a thing. I don't feel the nervousness. I don't feel the excitement. Why am I even here? The only reason I was here was for Hikari. If she's not here and hasn't been seen for months, what am I doing? You know? This is the thing that Hikari didn't really calculate, right? Like, where is the glimmer for Karen? Didn't really think about that. Turns out the glimmer is you. So if you go away, for whatever reason that may be, such as sacrificing yourself to use the energy to make the stage that you want, then you're still going to have the adverse circumstances for the person that you really wanted to care about overall. I mean, works for the rest of the girls, but not really for Karen. Again, if Karen was a little bit more competitive, a little bit more self-motivated, such as a Claudine, such as a Maya, then this wouldn't matter as much. But because her devotion to this is so, I guess, tied with the relationship, if the relationship goes away, the kind of glimmer goes away as well. Which I think we get across quite well. Like, it just makes sense with everything we've built up for the show thus far for this to happen. Again, Karen very quickly coming to the same realization, kind of Hikari did in the museum. You'll lose what's most important to you as a stage girl if you lose this audition process. And now kind of puts everything into place, figures what must have happened to Hikari to make this happen, right? Simultaneously come to the realization of what has happened to Hikari, at least a little bit, and what Hikari must have been feeling this entire time. So all the girls kind of gather together whilst Karen just mopes about in bed, which is fair enough. She's had a rough go. And the girls gather together and actually talk about the events of the show, which I find really refreshing. Like, we're not just side characters. We actually have some agency. We're going to, like Hikari and Karen aren't present, but we're still going to have this conversation and address these things and try to find a solution. I don't know. I found it really, really cool. It's kind of voiced by Tendo Maya, and she has a realization right back to that first episode, I believe it is, kind of looking into the eyes of Hikari and seeing that something isn't quite right. Yeah, so despite the audition process being about stealing Glimmer, we didn't have our Glimmer stolen, so thanks, Hikari, I guess? Like, having her and Glimmer stolen, they figure she probably wouldn't want to steal other people's Glimmers, especially not Karen's, considering their close connection. But put it this way, so remember when Karen kind of jumped in to the process, to the audition process, and joined, kind of in a rogue way? Imagine if she didn't. Would Hikari just kind of go through the process and steal everybody else's Glimmer? Or is it Karen, like, the sticking point there? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's a weird thought experiment. So whilst kind of lying down in bed, moping about, she picks up this book, the book we've already read in the past. So this is another connection from past episodes coming to building the conclusion, which is nice. It's good writing. And the book's entirely in English, and she kind of needs to translate it. She theorizes that, Banana talks about Starlight being a sad story about parting, which is something that I think Banana said in, like, episode 9 or so, maybe? The one where she fought Karen, that would make sense. Like, hey, Banana might be right about this. Like, this is the parting that we're talking about. This feels pretty bad. And yet, like emphasizing the tragedy of it as well. Like, I can't read this without her, this is a kind of a nod. Like, remember how I was talking about like Claudine and Maya's relationship and kind of Karen and Hikari's relationships kind of being linked in a way? I kind of see this here again, that the effort to learn a language, to understand something, to read something. So before I could rely on Hikari, but now Hikari's not here, I need to teach myself what these words mean, to just as a last-ditch effort to try to look for anything to find you. Now that I understand that the whole auditions process is kind of intertwined in this. So Karen kind of spends the rest of the time just looking and retranslating the book and figuring it all out. Mahiru comes in and tries to talk, but realizes that she's busy. Again, this looks quite nice. Again, little montage here, just displaying kind of the determination that she has to keep working on this through the night, or at least trying through the night, to learn new stuff. So let's talk about a metaphor, a little story. Right at the very end, we have Flora, who is Karen, who's blinded and falls from a great height. So blinded, like, doesn't have the memories to be able to figure out what's been happening. I was blind, but now I see. Right, that kind of vibe, like less of a physical blindness and more of a kind of emotional blindness or memory blindness, I guess. And Claire left behind up there in solitude. And we translate a little part at the end that's very important. She was made to pay for the sin of trying to seize the star and was imprisoned in the Tower of Starlight Gathering. Sure. But she's in prison. She isn't just like, the story's not done. That she has a tangible location. And there's hope at the end of the story that, hey, Flora, despite her blindness, she may be cured of it, and they could be reunited again. I think this is the realization we're making here. And again, we kind of go into like, this was never in any of the adaptations that I saw to like the theatre, right? They just leave out this detail, probably seeing it as kind of ancillary and not really all that important. But for somebody who's literally kind of living a metaphorical version of this play, this is all very important because it gives me that, again, last slither of hope to use. And the hope of Karen is kind of symbolized by that little light there, the red turning red. There's a little bit of faint glimmer there that kind of the theatre process could be reopened. Pretty slick little cut there as well, showing her kind of running around that corner. Yeah, right there. Pretty cool stuff. And we're kind of playing that Starlight song over the top here, again, just building that atmosphere. So yeah, like, again, so seeing her go from like shock to like being kind of depressed about not seeing her for a long time to like moping about in a room to this kind of determined breaking down of the walls to try to get back in, it's just classic stuff and works great for the show and building up to this emotional climax of the episode. So red light goes super red after smashing the thing enough times and yelling. And then, see over there, I think we get a better shot of it later, but the light is now blue. We've kind of gone from red to blue there, which again are Karen and Hikari's two colors, so makes a lot of sense. This here kind of reminds me of what Hikari did during episode 3. Kind of broke her way in and tried to stop things and did that kind of thing, right? Going through that same determined process to save the other person in the pair. Again, just lots and lots of different callbacks to other episodes in the show, helping the show to feel contained and whole. Just really great stuff. And then we go into surprise interlude review, everybody. It's interlude review. Being a Stage Girl, which is kind of a medley by a lot of the different girls, using a very pretty musical theatre sounding, very soft, sweeping piece that I really enjoyed. A return to what I really like about Revue Starlight after last week, I think. Like, kind of going through the storeroom, right? This is where they were keeping all the different assets for when they use them on the stage, which I just thought was magic, but sure. And I'm going to have to be guessing vocalists and stuff as we go on, but this is pretty obviously Karen. Keep your back straight, keep your gaze proudly, the sky looks as though it goes on endlessly. And then this color here, you would have to imagine Juna. Be as the blooming flowers and shine as dazzling as the sun. There's a purpose to all encounters in life. Sprinkle your dream around you. Don't forget about your dream. Specifically, Juna's dream to seize a star. Kind of alluding to in the dialogue previously that potentially is a sin, but I don't care about that. I don't care what anybody says. I'm still going to chase my dream. We don't know what the future holds, so let the curtains rise. Keeping that competitive spirit to the end is Juna tell Hikari that I'll be waiting for her on the stage. We are stage girls, we were born stage girls. With your courage in hand, raise your finger in a gentle arc. This is Mahiru singing, I believe. This feels very end of show. Like, it feels very finalistic. Which I guess it like kind of is. But there's still like 20 minutes to go. And I guess it's just all like full Karen Hikari dialogue stuff? Maybe? Giraffe fight? Question mark? I don't know. We as stage girls, we always put love front and center. Follow your hope, walking steadily, unwavering. I guess I should also say, like, kind of the backgrounds here are reflecting each of the other kind of stages of the girls in the show, all building towards Karen's journey down to go and save Hikari. So everybody's got her back, and they're all supporting her in their own way. Whilst summarizing a lot of the themes of the show as well. All the world's one big stage, but for us to perform upon. The stage has kept us together for better or worse. It's only thanks to the stage that we're here right now. Okay, okay, you two, what are we doing? Keep your lips closed firmly. No matter how hard it may be, we won't simply cry in vain. Even if we can't live up to our ideal selves, we're closer today than we were yesterday. Again, like that was a little bit of somebody else, like Karako and Futaba, and now this is Banana. Like, everybody's getting a go. We continue to evolve, so gently watch over us all our frustrations and regrets, says Banana. We're evolving. We're changing finally. One day it may end, so we must burn brightly now. I'll be waiting for you on the stage, says Banana. Thank you. Thank you, Banana. You've learnt your lessons. That is good. We are stage girls. We were born stage girls. With your courage in hand, raise your finger in a gentle arc. Pretty sure this is the chorus. We are stage girls, incomplete stage girls. Keep your head high at times, or at all times, in a dignified manner. Says Tendo Maya in the kind of the singing lyrics there. Interesting. Just everybody's put your hands up, give your energy to Karen to go and accomplish this task. Everyone's saying, I'll be waiting for you on the stage in their own different ways. Thank you. Thank you, Tendo Maya. Thank you, Claudine. The world has been waiting for us all this time, all the worlds, but one big stage. Yeah, I mean, in the metaphor, yeah. Oh, for us to perform upon there as well. Kind of sitting on the stairs here, giving me kind of Goddesses of Sin vibe as well from the Starlight play. Everyone's we all have your back. It's good. Friends, they're friend group, and they like each other, and the show displays that well. I'm running out of superlatives, and a lot of this like last stuff is very lead into the next episode, which would have been absolutely terrible to try to watch like next week, so I'm happy I'm doing it this way. Kind of sees the phone, receives all of the messages that she sent up to this point, which is kind of funny. I like that there's like a charger in the stage too. I think that's just kind of a funny detail that she just left her phone outside of her like kind of fortress of solitude. So Karen finds a ticket, and then the ticket opens this door. Do you remember the promise we made? Says on the ticket. Of course I do. And again, mirroring the first episode, right? You know when you say this title before you walk into any kind of room, Karen does the same thing as she walks in an attempt to go save Hikari, in whatever form that may be. Then we get an ED, kind of like a determined Karen ED. Look at the eyebrows, crazy stuff. I'm pretty sure the lyrics are different too, but I can't tell you for sure. But that would make sense for the context of where we are in the episode. So sure, maybe it's a little bit more indicative of Karen's internal thoughts at this moment in time. And then we get, hey, where's Hikari been this whole time? She's been like in like the snowland with her own little tiara. Of course I remember. Of course I remember everything. There's my own like little purgatory hell, where I'm naked in the snow. And like, I feel like Hikari's always been represented by Tokyo Tower on its side, not like it should be. Kind of not pointing straight up in the air, not representing that promise the same way it should, falling on one side of it, showing that the weight was all on one side of the Tokyo Tower metaphor, which is always kind of Karen and Hikari. So like one side's like that. That's what I'm saying anyway. And I'm sure we'll go into a lot more in this next episode when I bring it up shortly. But yeah, that was good. I enjoyed that a lot. So hopefully we can keep that kind of momentum going into this next episode, and kind of hopefully hit some kind of triumph. That'd be nice. A lot of build up of the sad stuff this episode. But this should be the payoff for all of it as we see it here. I wonder how much singing we'll get. I wonder what'll happen. No point wondering. I guess I'll just jump in right now. So I'm guessing you know the drill by now. Episode up here. 23 minutes and 50 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly. Just going to give it a 3, 2, 1. Radio? 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, no opening because we got our credits here already. What's wrong with cutting it like that? What's wrong with a leek? Leeks are cool. Yeah, they're nice in like a soup. Well, that's good, but what about like what I just saw? Like downstairs. Isn't that largely way more important than what we're doing here? There are 9 cups, though. There are 9 cups, though. Right? 3, 4, and 2? Yeah. Okay, so you're just in purgatory telling yourself the little story. Right. It's pretty sad. Oh, look at all this star shit. Oh, bro, she's like cosplaying. What is happening? Okay, so this is like all like internal. Gotcha. Weird. Sure. Does that mean Karen's gonna cosplay too? That'd be cute. It's like I really am Claire for real. Yeah, they are. Kind of using these stars to try to reach the top. I was like, what is that sound? It's kind of the chains rattling there. I like the CG. But why did it swing? Is that just fate? Not forever. She's here. Yeah, but there's more. There has to be more. Ooh, okay, I love this. She's kind of remember how like Karen was continuously trying with like they were kept apart, but you keep trying. That's great. Dead stage girl. This is her own stage. I'm gonna put myself in purgatory to make sure everything else is okay. Yeah, but I am here. What about the rest of you? I thought that kind of scene at the end of last episode implied that they were all like cheering on, giving their support, but no, they just went off and like had dinner together. Looks good though. Why are they competing on cooking as well? I don't really like tofu either. We'll get over it. It is pretty picky. Stop making fun of them. They're going through something very emotional. Okay, sure. I thought making them meals implied that we're pretty confident they're gonna come back here very soon. Continuously like trying to tell herself, yeah, like telling herself the same story as she builds this tower as well. That's great. I'm here. Oh, she did it. Can she hear you? Yeah. Of course he's hogging like the one like little oasis. Yeah. Oh, now she's lost her memories. It's like the play. Think about it. They all are. It's true. You're taking on Claire-like qualities. Apologies for hitting the mic. Okay, just still on autopilot. It's all right. Is she? Yeah, she's kind of like saying like both lines. She's like reading the script to herself. Yeah, they're very sore looking. No, can't reach yet. Have to keep going. Here it comes. Donk. I know you're gonna be alright because it's kind of like purgatory, but what about you? Handhold? Hand dodge? Well, that's no good. Excuse me. But you got to remember the end of your little book. There's still hope. Yeah, for like months. It's pretty fucked up. What's sacrificing her entire self to fuel it, to fuel the stage? Oh, back to restarting. Florida. Do you? Oh, from the play. Oh, okay. Hair clip. Okay. Remember name? Reference to earlier in the show? Oh, what do you think? I'm here to save you, dummy. What is keeping us here? Is it you? The eternal stage cut short. Okay, we did it, gamers. It's big old jip, is it? Oh. It's a trap. Well, I'm not letting you go that easy. All same shot as the first episode as well. I will Starlight with you. Oh, bro, are we doing a review? That'd be sick. Oh, different. Seems different? Kind of different. Mostly the same, but kind of different. It's time to give me some sick drip. Dender Machine. Yeah, maybe this is the longer version. Yeah, I think that's it. Give me a review. That's all I want. All I want for Christmas is a review. Review of Star Sins, final chapter, The Starlight Gatherer. It's time to fight? Naked? Hey, yo. Okay, now I have clothes. Well, that was pretty slick. I like the effects on the swords. It's like the passion they're putting into it, you know? It's true. Look at that gear shit. Why? Okay. This feels like future stuff. Oh, me? No! He got me. I should stop watching. That's great. This is all very meta. Welling up. Me. He's talking to me. Thank you. I mean, in the metaphor, your name's Claire, for sure. Whoa! Okay, we're turning the animation up. She's stuck in wires? I could try. That's twice you've been beaten now. Just like before. You're gonna do like a Flora and fall. Well, yeah, but that's no fun. Indeed. But now I'm in the audience? Of course, reflecting the play there. Like, obviously. Oh, and this is like the first scene in the show. Interesting. That's really interesting too. What are stories? Okay. Yeah. Indeed. Now what? Oh, I refuse? Yeah. Okay. I refuse. Yeah. There's a little bit of hope there. Exactly. True. Who's imprisoned up there, so she's fine. It's the power of anime? Oh, without an end. Of course. Encore. Think about it. What's being remade? I missed that one. Yeah. But then, hey, there's no end to anything. Then I'll get it back again. Yeah. Oh, the build here, too. Yeah. Oh, that's sick, too. Yo, there's so much to talk about visually here. Penetration? Yeah. Sure. Kind of on the other end. Yo, this show's sick. Oh, and he loves it. Okay. He loves it? Is he me? Well, yeah. Yeah, that's why you lost your glimmer regardless. Give me all of you? Indeed. What else? Baka baka. Yeah. They just want a Starlight together. You don't get it. New chapter, the Starlight Gatherer. Like on the end? Oh, is this them? This is them starlighting with each other. Look at it. Look at the aspect ratio. They're actually like performing. They're fusing. Mm-hmm. Yes. Thank you, Hikari. But now what? Go ahead and steal my everything? This shit's gay as hell. Kiss? Sure. Whatever you say, sure. I don't know what just happened. Yeah. Hand holding. Right on that position 0. Indeed. Together. Starlight with you. Alright, I mean that was really good. But what does this mean? Okay, they made it back. Oh, and now we're doing this performance? Yeah. In their new costumes. Look at them. They look like older. I mean, they are, but like, I guess it's because I'm so used to seeing the other one. Hey, look. Oh yeah, it's because they're like ad libbing the ending. Well, not ad libbing, but like making like new stuff. They're changing it up. Banana would hate this. Okay, well that's all nice, but there's still a movie. Yeah, Claire and Flora made it out. Kiss, please. One day they will. Oh, it's like the opening. Indeed. Great. Oh, this shot too? Brilliant. They're doing a great job of making the show feel like full circle. Full circle. And that's it. That's Revue Starlight, the TV anime, ladies and gentlemen. So what I was thinking is that it's like getting late. I'm sure you could see it's kind of dark outside because I started pretty late today. I think I'll continue this in some form or another tomorrow, but that may delay things. But I think as soon as I tell everybody that I'm just like doing it all, they'll be pretty happy. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'll return to talk about this episode, or maybe I'll watch the OVAs first. I don't know, whatever I'm feeling tomorrow. Um, But yeah, I'll discuss things and we'll go through that side of it. But yeah, this was really good. Like really, really good. Like there's a ton of visual stuff I want to talk about in that last episode. And 10 is most certainly an aberration now. That is as bad as the production stuff gets. For sure. For sure, because the last couple episodes were pretty damn good in that regard, I think, right? A lot of reuse of stuff, but anyway, I'll leave a lot of it for tomorrow. But yeah, this was good. Hello, hi, I'm back, everybody. Um, yeah, this wasn't meant to happen this way. This is like 2 days later than when I watched the episode. So as a result, I haven't forgotten stuff, but I've kind of forgotten stuff. So we're going to go back through here. I've written a little bit of a summary. A pretty good one of episode 11, I will say. A kind of sketchy one of episode 12, where I'm still need to hash out a few of the details around motivations at certain points in time. But in the short time we've had away, the episode's definitely left an impression. I really love the last sequence, or second to last sequence, where they finally get to Starlight together. I thought that was brilliant. And everything leading up to it, it's pretty much your perfect episode encapsulating the main relationship in the show in a pretty great way. So, yeah, let us go back through now, starting with episode 11, which I know we just watched, but we'll do it again for sure. Episode 11 starts with Hikaru refusing to steal the glimmer of the other girls in order to kind of power her own stage of destiny, instead opting to use her own glimmer as a self-sacrifice. Again, this could be like wrong wording, but essentially like she knows how bad it is to have glimmer stolen away. She doesn't want that to happen to anybody else, again, building on the relationships they've built throughout the show, and instead opts for a pure self-sacrifice, taking herself out of the picture. This essentially leaves us with a disappearance of Kagura Hikari type situation where nobody knows where Hikari's gone and she's just gone and she's missing. And again, nobody knows. Through the course of the episode, they discover what has happened, but we'll get to it. 7 months pass through this sequence as we kind of pop through different time periods, seeing Karen really trying to cope with this discovery, with a little bit of help from Mahiru, which I found was nice. Karen gets pretty depressed, which is understandable, considering Hikari's like the basis for most of her motivation in the show, as is Karen for Hikari as well. They're very together in that way. And this is the part where it gets tragic. This is the grand tragedy of the situation, right? Is that despite Hikari making that self sacrifice, not wanting anybody to lose their glimmer, she didn't account that Karen's glimmer is entirely dependent on her. So if she's out of the picture, then that glimmer goes regardless. Again, it's kind of sketchy through this section, but Karen and the others discover that the audition process may be responsible for what we have going on, which leads to Karen reading the original source material for Starlight, which was featured earlier in the show, and discovers a crucial piece of information, a crucial piece of hope for what we have going on. That being that the play doesn't end where we think it ends. It turns out that Claire, who's the one at the top of the tower still towards the end, the one that didn't fall down, is only imprisoned. She doesn't die of whatever, right? She's still alive, and there's nothing saying that Flora's not still alive either. So there's potential hope of a reunification at some point, which I think the show pays off on. So this little bit of hope is enough to get Karen down and smashing the wall, the elevator door thing, to the underground theater, starts singing Being a Stage Girl interlude before the other girls join in. Karen then gets to the bottom. There's a weird like phone charger, and she enters to go and save Hikari. We get a final little shot of Hikari and what she's been doing up to this point. Does not look very warm. I'll say that to say the least. And now we get into the new stuff finally. So episode 12 inexplicably starts with the rest of the girls cooking, which was a weird choice, and it kind of continues throughout the thing. I guess it's just showing that the rest of the girls are continuing a little bit of a status quo, maintaining hope that the two will return at some point, probably that night, considering they leave a plate out for them, before we essentially head into some Hikari POV to see what she's been doing this entire time. It's essentially a purgatory of her own creation. So let me explain. So there's a tower, and you've got to get to the top of the tower, right? Does it sound familiar to anybody? Sounds familiar to a lot of the show. She has to get various star rocks, and stack them up to try to get to the top of this tower. But every single time a big old star pendulum thing will come and smash it down, and she'll have to start all over again, needing to build up to another pinnacle. If this isn't metaphorically relevant for what she has going on, then I don't know what is. And yeah, that's what she does. She walks around, she recites Starlight the play to herself, and builds this. Again, this prison of her own creation. It's something atoning for the sins of the stage girls. I think there's some kind of implication that any participation in the audition process comes with some kind of sacrifice and some kind of atonement, some kind of wrongdoing happening there, to want to be the best, to want to take other girls out. But I admit here I probably need to reread this part of the episode. It's essentially what we're seeing is Hikari taking on this responsibility for all of the different girls that were there. Essentially 8 or 9 times the glimmer loss, if that makes any sense. Karen then goes and finds Hikari in the kind of ash snow stuff, and she's seemingly forgotten all about the promise that they made and the crux of the show, and who Karen even is. Very similarly to the play itself, right? Where Claire's the one that forgets, I believe, forgets the relationship that they had the previous year. Again, there's lots of allusions to that text through what we have going on in the end here. However, Karen is doing protagonist things and is being persistent and will not let Hikari go. Again, there's a big old skip here, but this sequence is pretty elaborate and fairly effective too. They spend the required time on it. This eventually leads to Karen and Hikari fighting after Hikari breaks out of her stupor, I guess you would say. Hikari wins, which isn't surprising, I don't think. But Karen literally breaks the rules to save Hikari again. So this is the surprising part. She literally just cheats. She uses protagonist magic. The giraffe fucking loves it because he loves that the stage that no one can predict, right? He loves that shit. It's the manifestation of the audience. The audience that at one point would force a character into this kind of purgatory cycle and be that mean to a character who they perceived as being, a little bit potentially selfish, or the whole process being selfish, changes their tune entirely when they see a good enough reason to root for somebody else. I think this metatextual giraffe aspect of the show is something I haven't delved into enough. It's quite fascinating how the giraffe does his rules and that kind of thing. See, originally I related it to something of a Kyubey from Madoka, if I'm saying that name right, who is very rules-oriented. But seemingly he can just throw them out the windows whenever he wants. He just, again, the will of the audience, whatever the audience would think is cool. Karen and Hikari finally get to Starlight with each other. It's when kind of we get the black bars come down, the aspect ratio changes, and they just kind of dance it out. It's pretty good. They share that position 0 in one of the shots too, which is another fantastic sequence. Instead of punching a sword into it, stabbing a sword into it, we're holding hands on top of it, full-on Symphogear style. So yeah, that was pretty neat too. Before heading into that quick epilogue sequence where we finally get to see kind of this year's Starlight performance and the cast of the show performing in it. I had a few other notes here. Yeah, just the tower is so versatile in the symbolism. There's a particular sequence where one tower has fallen this way and another tower has fallen this way, and I'm pretty sure they're representative of both Karen and Hikari, which I think is really damn good. One that's a little bit more like I've fallen over because I've fallen over, and another one's like I'm falling over with intent. Again, the camera's mirrored for me, so it's hard to make the right ones go the right way, but you know what I mean. And yeah, I guess the other thing is so there's the production stuff, right? But episode 10 is the clearest low point. The rest of the show is really good in this aspect, I think. It's not really something worth writing home about outside of episode 10, I don't think. There's a few little things here and there with a few weird shots and not a lot of animation through the middle of the show. A few here and there. But episode 10 was the clearest one where it's this is an issue. The rest of 11 and 12 were fantastic. If you had I wouldn't have guessed that they had any kind of trouble there. But yeah, and that wraps us up on the TV anime of Revue Starlight. Before I, go and have a second look at this episode real quick. But at least with the question, what the hell is this movie about, man? I thought there'd be a clearer lead on for a sequel, and there really isn't. You could stop watching here and be very, very satisfied. So, a new character? Are we going to graduate? Is there going to be another audition process? What the hell? honestly could not tell you what this sequel is going to be about. Even if it is a sequel, I have not seen anything about it. It could be new characters. I don't know. I do not know, and it's got me intrigued, and I guess I'm going to have to figure that out next week. So as I just talked about, inexplicable cooking scene. Not that it's unwelcome, but it's a weird way to start your final episode. Well, we learned that Karako doesn't like leeks. Leeks are really good in like soups and that, so shoutouts to leeks. It's a weird thing. Again, weird thing to talk about this episode. Even cooking their own stock, that's pretty good too. Fogging up the glasses, nice. I guess this is what it's about. We see this shot here. I guess it shows like unrivaled confidence in the other two girls down below to get it done, right? Because we've got 9 cups, 9 bowls for the soup that they're going to have. The you would call like a hot pot or something like that, I would imagine, with a particular focus on these two down the bottom there. So again, symbolically representing that, hey, we're putting 2 bowls out for you. You guys are going to be okay. Before we like again see this like purgatory that Hikari's in. As she continues to recite the play of Starlight to herself, it comprises a large portion of the kind of dialogue in the episode, actually, which will probably make this reread a little bit easier. And again, the audience is pretty clearly familiar with this dialogue and that because we've seen it a number of times throughout the show. This is the kind of benefit of repetition in the show, I think. We see down the bottom here that this is Kagura Hikari's Stage of Destiny as well. So yeah, continuing to do both parts of the play to herself, puts on this little almost Claire cosplay that she has going on. Again, I'm pretty sure that you're the Claire and Karen's Flora. I think that's the metaphor. Again, like theoretically, you could think that kind of Hikari stacking up all these stars is kind of like the goddesses of sin that we've had to kind of stand on top of to get to this point, right, in the kind of story of the play. And we see determined Karen off here to save her wife or girlfriend. I don't know if they're married yet, but it's only a matter of time. Kind of the soundtrack of Starlight coming through as well. It was notably used during last episode as well as Karen kind of struggled to get that door open. So yeah, again, I'm going to sound like a broken record this episode, but use of repetition and repeated symbolic meaning stuff, building of meaning through repetition, is great in this show. And really adds a lot to my style of watching these kind of shows. If I haven't said already, Karen represents Claire. Claire's the one that forgets through the process of Starlight as well, so it makes a lot of sense that she can't remember any of the other events. Again, this is like her own little personal torture chamber, right? So again, as we know in the end of the Starlight play, when they kind of snatched for both stars, tried to seize both and gain that eternal wish to try and wish for Claire's memory back from memory, Flora is struck down. It's you know, it's a cautionary tale of using this power or misusing this power or attributing kind of the will of the people against the will of the gods, right? You're not allowed to do this, so there will be some kind of smiting in that process, which again matches for a lot of tragic early fiction throughout history. This is represented, of course, by a giant star becoming big old pendulum and then smashing down the tower that Hikari has built up to this point. Here it comes. Boom! Yeah, and everything that she's built up to this point needs to be built again, much like what's the guy forced to kind of roll that boulder up the hill for eternity? What's that about? Sisyphus, I believe. I just googled it. Kind of a bit of Sisyphus about this, I think. And then the dialogue goes, and now I remember, we can never be together. They kind of parted forever after this point. I remembered that this wasn't meant to be. And again, very indicative of the event actually happening in the show. And yeah, this is when we start to loop back around. So she's fallen, right? And now we can kind of figure what the fall was, the position that she was in at the start of the episode is as well. Kind of another time where she's fallen and now is repeating Starlight once again. Again, it's implied that she's been doing this for 7 months, which is a pretty bad little run. And we finally get some unique dialogue. The giraffe kind of piping in here, standing in the one oasis in kind of our weird snow desert thing we have going on, endlessly piling them up, only for them to be torn down, and so it repeats. A stage without an end. She shouldered all the glimmer needed for this stage in place of the others. So she's taken on like 8 or 9 times the pain. The atonement of a dead stage girl. Atonement, right? You have sinned, right? However, this is the stage of destiny that she has chosen, right? This is what she chose to do, to kind of shoulder all of the burden and not spread it out amongst everybody else. Again, through the process of the show, overcoming this thing. She doesn't want anybody else to go through this process. So makes a lot of sense. And in case that was too depressing for you, we have like little kind of hot pot update with the rest of the girls, which is nice. It really does warm you up. I guess the implication again of this stuff is that, hey, we're hopeful that she's coming back. We're sending out a pot for her, and we're making sure it doesn't have the things that she doesn't like. Again, showing that we have learnt about each other through this process where we've been together for this bunch of time. Again, like, we understand that Hikari's made a sacrifice for us, and trying to be nice to her in response. Mahiru being a real cutie, saying that she really treasured her time with Karen and Hikari, and it wasn't hard work at all, and blah 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 blah. When it really was hard work, let's be real. That would be like nightmare roommates. Yeah, like, hey, bro, save me a bowl. That looks really good. Get a beautiful moment here as we see Hikari repeating that play once again, but kind of Karen piping up with her lines as Flora, which is good. Kind of trying to explain to Hikari that I didn't understand that what you were doing for me and why you came here and blah 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 blah. I think that was also part of the stage as well, that you guys would forget, that you'd like, I would sacrifice for you, but you wouldn't understand, right? But there's the kicker. Who are you? I've forgotten who you are. But again, how much of this is fake? How much of this is real? Because, like, eventually she does remember. So I don't know how many times I'm going to say it, but much like the play, much like Starlight itself, Claire has forgotten. Flora needs to help her remember. How many different times or ways can I say it, right? Especially along with these Tokyo towers like that. I mean, the meeting at the top of the tower, one tower's fallen on its side that way. A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff there for sure. So I guess on one of my points in the notes, I say, can we beat the allegorical story allegations? Which is probably a terrible way to say it, but like, are we going to outrun the allegory? Are we going to, are we going to end in tragedy? Are we not? Clearly, we can extend beyond what the kind of story has up to this point, right? There is more beyond our kind of, again, this is very meta. There's more beyond our understanding of a story to this point, right? This is real life. Real life keeps going. We can always find another way out. We can always push further for that happier ending, right? I think that's a great moral and kind of stands in a lot of the kind of draft stuff as well, where it's kind of, the audience may really enjoy the tragedy of Starlight, right? Up to this point, they may think that that's enjoyable, but we had to overcome that tragedy with something equally or way more exciting, and Karen does that, and that's why we succeed. There's definitely something here, meta-wise, that I think's really, really good. But I can't quite grasp it and get the words together right this second. Yeah, there's a little bit more here as well. Starlight Gathering is the absolving of sins, and then later on in this scene we see kind of Karen say, the star of sin, as the star flies down and kind of hits the tower that Hikari has created. I'll continue reading because I remember there was some more concrete stuff regarding this topic. Even flying through the air there, kind of Hikari refusing to hold hands with Karen, refusing to let her save her, and then saying, our dream wasn't meant to be. There's more that needs to play out here for Hikari to feel okay about a, happy ending in that way. I guess just like mirroring the start of the show, like Karen just completely misunderstanding the process and just jumping in. That's what she always does, right? Again, to Hikari's kind of hatred of that, right? She always just jumps in and saves her, even when I'm trying to do something kind of a bit of a heroic self-sacrifice for your benefit. You keep jumping in and making things worse, but in the end making things better, mirroring the start of the show in that way. We have Karen coming to the understanding that, hey, Hikari's been doing this for years and years and years, or not, for a very long time, like shouldering other people's guilt. That makes her very sad. She sheds a few tears, if I can speak. This specific shot here, mirroring Claire in the play as well, kind of the sand drifting through the fingers, as Karen tries to remind her of the promise that they made way back in the day. In that sand, she finds her hair clip, starts to maybe remember some things, or allows herself to remember some things. And yeah, it says that line, the line that she said throughout the show as well. Bakaren, Karnit Wit, which is just doesn't work. I like Bakaren way better. But yeah, this is the indicator that hey, maybe she doesn't actually remember, so that's like nice, right? We pass that barrier. The music builds nicely here as well. Makes me really happy to see you. Oh, they're building up the fields. It's very good. For the record, this is like a really good finale, like in that way, like just building upon ideas and being really epic and grandiose and feeling like the true climax to what we have going on, which is good. It's a well-structured finale show, especially in a world of like shonen adaptations that never have like really good finales. Something like this is really nice for sure. The lines have stopped. The stage has been cut short. There's no meaning to this star tiara. Just like the stars that Flora and Claire aimed for, it is a light that lures new sinners to the stage of destiny. So again, we're like, again, metaphorically as well, we've blown everything out, right? We could see behind what's going on. We can see everything that's been holding up all this sand this whole time. And we also expose the conceit of the show, right? This whole time, this whole wish that you get at the top, and this whole kind of the process, the audition process, has been a big old debate. Or at least it is for everybody that participates except for one. And that one goes on to get whatever they want, and then the rest are suckers, basically, right? Especially kind of characters mirroring Flora and Claire, who may be a little bit more, what's the word? Nice, not as selfish, and because of that, get punished. Yeah. I think I see that. Again, Starlight reflects the audition process in a lot of different ways. There's another part here mirroring the first episode. Hikari tries to lower herself down and say goodbye again. Of course, that isn't going to work. We're even going to mirror kind of shots of kind of Karen jumping through the air and kind of going after Hikari once again, even if it ends in another fight, which it does. Yeah, another great excuse to use this kind of transformation sequence adjacent process thing. Again, starting up the final chapter, the Starlight Gatherer, kind of post everything, post the events of Starlight, in a review called The Revue of Star Sins, which definitely makes sense. We have Hikari saying that this is my stage of destiny, right? This is where I'm atoning for my original sin, as well as the sins of me trying to come back and do this process again, especially with you here, Karen. You're not going to take that from me, right? You're not going to take this atonement process, my stage, from me in this way. And a pretty slick fight plays out. I like all the kind of particle effects off the weapons. I think they're quite neat. Because I couldn't seize it, I stole it from somebody else. This is my stage of destiny for the fool and the sinner that I am. So yeah, pretty self-conscious of what she's done up to this point. And Karen, great point. If you're a sinner, then we're all sinners. So let us all take that burden together. We get the lyrics up the top here, initially by Hikari, but I think that Karen comes in a little bit later. The cycle of despair never ends. I still can't reach the stars. True. Well, this is a cool shot too. It's only for a second, but all those gears, that was great. A small light faded to one day flicker out. Even say Hikari in there? Does Hikari have some kind of meaning in those words I just said? Again, the draft just explaining that he's kind of a manifestation of the audience. A performance can only happen when there's a meeting of performers and an audience, so that's why I have to be here watching this. And a performance will only continue to exist if the audience so desires, if that makes any sense, right? Because they will, if the story's a bit shit, they'll flock away, you know what I mean? And then, yeah, I forgot about this. We get like super meta. They look at me. The only reason that this anime exists is because it has an audience of people like me watching these girls, so I'm partially responsible for their trauma, as well as you. I am you, in a weird way. Draft man. Yeah, I do like fourth wally stuff, so this is going a long way to making me like the show as well. The draft's like, I also wish for this not to end. I am also an onlooker in love with the stage, in love with what we have going on. But in that process, I'm also a producer of the stage of destiny, the tragedy that we've seen up to this point, right? Me watching this is the only reason that this could exist, right? That's trippy as. Yeah, kind of that's what will exist because that's what I want to exist, says the draft. right? Unless I see something sufficiently epic enough to change my mind that this is a tragedy, this will continue being a tragedy. It's kind of what we're getting at, I think. My name is Claire. I committed the sin of the stars. Our dream will not come true. No, it won't come true. So we kind of turn up the animation budget here for a sec too, which is nice. Karen continuing to wish for Hikari to come home and understand that you can't put on a performance all alone. But no, murder. There's a lot of great stuff here. So much like Starlight, we see all those red lights hit Karen. She falls down much like Flora, as kind of Claire stays on top. What I wanted to shout out particularly was here, the kind of position 0 splitting apart, right, as well. So kind of we can never Starlight together. That's what I'm getting from this. And again, the kind of payoff for this shot later on when they're holding hands over position 0. Nice stuff. Yeah, it seems like the play's over for a little bit, right? Where Hikari / Claire have finally got their way and they'll continue to atone for this sin forever. Yeah, it was the sand again. There's lots of stuff here linking the performance in the show and the thing with the other thing. Cool. Then this mirrors the first shots of the show even, right? We see Karen watching this performance all alone. Sees kind of a rendition of Starlight where Claire is the only character, a lone girl imprisoned inside that tower. Again, this is more referential to the actual events of the show. Or again, sequel material to Starlight, which is interesting. And so that's great as well. So we see hairpin fall, we see like a quick version of transformation sequence, and then Karen's like, non. And yeah, we're gonna, go against every convention in the book and save the day. Shouldering our sins? No. I'm gonna come get you now. I'm gonna save you. As we see her rise out of that platform that's just fallen, right? Like, this shouldn't happen. This shouldn't happen according to the book, but it does. This is where we kind of use some of the justifications from the book and explain why should this be a tragedy? Why should this be a sad ending, right? Actively fighting against that. Any other tragedy you like. I thought about Romeo and Juliet, but bad example. They can't really continue after that one. But you know what I mean? Like theory crafting, like fan fictioning, like weird alternate endings to tragedies. It's kind of what she's doing right now. Yeah, kind of shocking Hikari in this process. What if Flora just got up and saved Claire? I mean, yeah, that could happen, sure. Why not? Why not believe it? But part of it is convincing the audience to believe this as well, and I think this is what Karen's doing through this process. As we kind of head to the Encore. Perfect. Great. So Encore is a great metaphor for what we have going on. The Starlight Gatherer, the encore to that. I'll believe as long as we're together in the continuation of our destiny. The stage of destiny is being remade. I'm literally like winning. You don't understand. When we were young, we made a single precious promise. Hikari concerned that her glimmer will be stolen in this process. Then steal it! Steal everything I am. This is gay as shit. Even if it's stolen, that doesn't mark the end. Even if I lose it, my glimmer won't vanish. Okay, this is more of what I was talking about earlier. Kind of like in contrast to the finite end to a story. This is real life. This can continue. There's no end to what we have going on, despite what the audience thinks. I won't give up. I'll make it anew. I wanted to see you. I'll burst into flames and be reborn as many times as it takes. Kind of standing at the top of Tokyo Tower there visually as well. Yeah, Tokyo Tower indeed. Her shit's remade. I am remade. I am remade. I am remade. Look at it. Big old Tokyo Tower penetrates the shit out of her tower. Kind of, again, I've talked about it before, the opposite direction to the Tokyo Tower from kind of Hikari's Tokyo Tower in her stage of destiny. My Tokyo Tower goes this way, which is very important. Visually, I feel, breaking the stage, breaking the kind of barriers of the story as well. There's tons of stuff here that we could talk about visually. Not to mention the music fucking kicking ass too. The stage girl who jumped in is starting the continuation of the ending. A chemical reaction caused by stage girls, a stage that no one can predict. Set piece, promised tower bridge. And the draft just selling the fucking voice acting too. Loves it. Loves it completely. The stage is what makes stage girls who they are. My stage is you, Hikari-chan. My stage is incomplete without you on it. I need you by my side. The fact that they don't like smooch after the end of this is kind of insane. So give me all of you. And then we go into a little bit of a Hikari sequence here, kind of remembering the promise, the first time that they watched that play together, the kind of central conceit of the show even. Yeah, she loves it. She wants the Starlight with you now. You did the good, Karen. We finally get to our new chapter of the Starlight Gatherer. One where we finally get to Starlight together. This is our stage of destiny. Our stage, right? Together. And again, I've noted the kind of aspect ratio change that we've had. Kind of from here. Like this is the rest of the show into this. Just pretty cool stuff, right? Just differentiating it from the rest of the show. As we do like a ton of spin shit in. I call them pirouettes, I guess. Yeah, it's kind of a majestic moment where we just kind of let it breathe. This is our victory, right? We both do our little intros together, which is cute as well. She says, "Go ahead and steal my everything," which is homosexual. It's homosexual activity. You were right there by my side at the start we had always longed for was. A little bit of a duet here right at the end. Kind of a closing song. Our shared starlight. We see the book, The Starlight Gatherer, in front of one of those stars. And they possess that position 0 together, kind of clarifying a few things, right? What do we say here? Hikari-chan is the star I was trying to seize. Karen being the star that she desired. Excuse the rest of the screen. We did it, basically. We won. And then, yeah, just pure epilogue stuff. Got the ED playing. Get this new picture here, kind of our 100th Starlight show instead of the 99th picture. Kind of the hot pot we had together. The seafood thingo. I think we get a closer shot here. Yeah, let's have a little look. Everyone looks so happy. You could also say like this pairs here using the pen, good old pen. Like you two are doing the same thing, and you two are doing the same thing. You two have really similar faces, and you two have really similar faces, and you're all alone, which is unfortunate for Mahiru, definitely. So, sucks to be her. See the new costumes they have for the new performance as well, which are great. Kind of seen them on like mannequins and designs early in the show. And this is kind of a weird alternate Starlight that they've made, right? These are like the script changes that have been implied as well, right? We have a happier ending, almost a conclusion to Starlight, the same conclusion that we've formulated through the rest of the show, right? There's a different relationship now, right? Instead of the show reflecting the play, now the play that we're going to perform reflects the events of the show, which I find interesting for sure. Even Banana taking on a really interesting role here, being somebody a little bit more like guiding in this, right? That's maybe done it all before and has some lessons to impart. Flora, you two have freed the goddesses. We have been watching over you all this time. Now is when the stars will shine. Big old tiara in the background. There was also a bit of a giraffe earlier. Yeah, kind of in this version, we did everything. It's the good end. All the goddesses of sin have been helped, and we get to the top and we get our happy ending where we're changing the tragedy, which is absolute sacrilege for people that like the actual Starlight story, but it sucks to be them. We need a happy ending, and for the record, I enjoy it too. Yeah, Claire and Flora finally together get to pluck that star together and be reunited. Happy ending for all. Hand holding for the boys, and we found it, our destiny. Oh, did I say ending before? It's definitely the opening. I'm dumb. And as a result, we also get this part of the opening that we in the show haven't heard before, much like the Starlight play. We're expanding upon that ending, right? Where the opening used to have a pretty strict ending point, we now get this one day section at the end, right? That may make things feel a little bit more whole and together, which is cool. Yeah, like for a 12-episode anime, I could scarcely think of a more happy ending that you could put together, a more like complete ending where it feels like we're really tying a bow on a show, which makes this movie very intriguing. Like, what the hell is that going to be about, man? Yeah, one of the final shots we get is this shot, which we've seen a lot as well, meeting together under that tower, like they met all that time ago, reflecting all that kind of stuff. And all the tower symbolism in the show that I've been zeroing in on from basically the first episode has come to a really nice conclusion. I feel like it's pretty obvious, but it feels good that I hit that nail on the head early, right? because it came back in a big way in the end. And yeah, that's basically it. We'll call it there. So yeah, as I've said, I can scarcely think of much better than what we did right now. Just the kind of got that episode 8 energy to it, just like an awesome build, like a really epic style song, if that makes any sense. Like something that feels sweeping and all encompassing, and like what I've done here in watching this show feels important. It's good. It feels like I watched something of note, of repute, with an ending like this. And it's a really smart ending to boot. Really emotional, builds on the central relationship in a great way. And yeah, onwards and upwards, I guess. I'm going to go and watch some OVAs, so stick around for those. Probably won't have much to say after the fact, but we'll give them a watch now, just as kind of a wrap up for the rest of the series. So I don't know how many of you have seen Symphogear, but these are going to run basically the same way. I'm just going to watch them back to back to back, and kind of give my scattered thoughts within. I'm pretty sure they're going to be fairly fan servicey and kind of slice of lifey, which is great. This is what I want. I like the characters, so I want to see them together. And that's what I think I'll get here. Please let me know how these were distributed as well. I would imagine there would be a Blu-ray extra or something like that, right? Either way, kind of 6 minutes and 59 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly. Just going to give it a 3, 2, 1. Radio. 3, 2, 1, go. Hello, school. Definitely recording, that's good. 50 days until the festival. Gotcha. Ooh, how fan servicey are we getting? Measuring for costumes? Well, it's got a layer of clothing there. Get over it. Don't talk to me about any kind of milk. Yes. What else? All right. How hard are we going with these measurements? Because I forgot that these may be fan servicey as well, because Japan. It must actually be like really cold. The feet. I don't know about the feet. Not really my bag. Why not get measured like at a different time of year or in a room with heating? What do you mean last year? Okay. Oh yeah, these costumes, I like them. Yeah. See the so we're like the people from Class B always writing like this version of Starlight too, the one we got in the end. That'd be interesting. Okay, bit like heightist. Thanks, Mahiru. We love Mahiru. What's wrong with that? Banana tree? Well, yeah, she's very tall. What are you doing, Hikari? What? Don't bully Mahiru. She too fat. Oh, that kind of fat. You'll be alright. Well, we're gonna change it. I mean, should be a consideration when like doing stage productions for high schoolers, right? Sexual harassment, go to jail. You feeling a little bit left out? Are we playing baseball? What are we doing? Based? Hell yeah. Yeah, swing that base. She gonna swing it at her head? What are you talking about? Okay, it's over my head, but sure. Sure. Oh. Not at all. Well, you two clearly remember it. Oh. Okay, I get what the rest of the OVA has been about now. Why you've been so you wanted to say something. Okay, clearly passionate. This is me talking about, like, I don't know, lots of stuff to my friends. Just can't shut up. Thank you. Yeah, me trying to sell people on watching K-On! There you go. Yeah, focus on your advantages. Kind of, but just in as many words. But you were too busy waiting for your opportunity to. Yeah, gotcha. Why was Karen swinging that baseball bat? Strange. Call me Hikari. $5 centimeters is like nothing. Yeah, good stuff. What do you mean, little sister? Yeah, there we go. We're a bit closer than that. I mean, it was my understanding that you like can't figure that out yourself. That's rude too. What are you doing? Oh, well, that's not a very good joke. Not really, but sure. It was cute. Yeah, so that one probably got a little bit more fan servicey than I remembered these things generally are too, which was interesting for sure. Just like a cute little story. Not much to report on there. On with the next one, I guess. So yep, again up here, 7 minutes and 8 seconds. Gonna give it a 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, go. Discussion. 99.419 is funny too. Oh, Juna moment. I like Juna. Bit more Hikari. What? Fight? No. Conflict. My worst enemy. I get the feeling we're going to figure it out. Okay, a bit closer to the festival. Indeed. Yeah. Okay. You both love Claire, which makes a lot of sense. Oh, this is when, yeah, so she got cast in that role. Yeah. Okay, I'm like challenging your like portrayal. Okay, you're still like playing. What is happening with you and the baseball? Is she me with a golf club? Like every day? Okay. Another question, ladies and gentlemen. Is this like a different like universe? Because at this point, Hikari's kind of in jail. I guess it's like the good ending. She's doing it though. Yeah, Juno's just like watching. That's funny. They're gonna fist fight. And they met in the middle. Cute. No, they're like fine. Oh, you kind of hate not performing her? Oh, I see. Thank you, Tendo Maya. Insane Law? Claudine, come get your girl. Alright, this is cute. Yeah, we never see this side of her. It's what I feel like doing. Are you going to? No, my better judgment. Really? That's terrible. Okay, you guys gonna be okay? It's okay. I expected this to be way more of like a plot point in the show. So I'm kind of happy that you're doing it now. Are you gonna be? Yeah, me neither. It's kind of fascinating. I've never seen her even talk this much, unless it's about Karen. You'll get there one day. You'll get there one day. Yeah. Or until somebody steals all of it, yeah. You're doing quotes again. Yeah. Loves a good quote, loves a good saying. Thanks, Junjun. Yeah, that's a little bit more Tendo Maya style. Yeah, perfect. Based. This should have been like in the show. Is my take. through like either lens. Great. What kind of Claire would you play? Oh, the Udon Claire. Fair enough. Yeah, that one was really good. I think that should have been in the show. Yeah, and moving on to our final little OVA before that movie next week. Special 3 up here ready to go. 7 minutes and 13 seconds. Just going to give it a 3, 2, 1. Radio. 3, 2, 1, go. Opening. Oh, okay, we're paying off on the baseball thing. Oh, do you want to win that prize for her? For Hikari? That makes a lot of sense. Do you need to get it in like the certain spot? Damn, batting cage would actually be pretty fun. And they need her for a certain thing, and she's off like doing baseball. Ooh, Claudine moment. I didn't catch how many days is this? Always 2 hours to spare. That's kind of insane. Or was she a nervous wreck last year? Why does it have to be you two together? Yeah, look at that look. That's funny. What do you know about it, Kariko? Well, that's what you should try to do. After bathing? But that's what you wanted. Kind of. Yeah, not like you're the child and she's like the mother. Yeah, I mean, you're right. You guys are gay. It's fine. We get it. Oh, you've been nervous. I'll look at the over the face. Yeah, she looks like the Joker. Yeah, probably needs like instead of Karen off doing baseball things, she should be here probably rehearsing. Okay, Mahiru to the rescue. Did she tell you this? Okay. Grandma from the farm. What the hell is banana therapy? I think this is doing the opposite. It may be overwhelming. Bit of tea would be nice, though. Probably just like some space as well. Like you're all crowding her. You're not the one that does sweets. That's banana. Everybody's helping. That's nice, though. Hiatus is an interesting word, too. Yeah, she'll be here with a big old toy. Yep. How good. I literally perfected baseball and got you this. Hey, you're Mr. White. I will. Thank you. Thank you for the big old plush. I had to win a competition. Yeah. Holy fuck. What do you mean? I can't. Hello? Yes, that's exactly why. Oh, so this is like literally on the day of the performance, too? Gotcha. I don't know if it was like a dress rehearsal or something. Okay. She loves it? Yeah, it's chaotic. Chodaijobu? What is this? Oh, everybody like heading in for the performance. Oh, this song too. Culmination. Hands in. You guys too. We have gone through a lot. There was a lot of show. Thanks, Class B. Please let me put my hand up. Let's Starlight. We did it. Oh my god. They just stomped me. Is that it? I think that's it. Interesting. And yeah, that's it. Yeah, those were pretty good and came together in a nice way to like kind of link them all as well. Would I say that any of it is particularly important for understanding the rest of the show? Not really. I thought the most concrete stuff was kind of the Tendo Maya Hikari stuff. There's some good stuff with Kariko and Claudine as well, I thought, and the kind of central conceit around the baseball and the kind of the bear toy to help her because she knew she would be nervous, which is all very cute. Yeah, those were a good time. I'd recommend them to people that like Revue Starlight and want more Revue Starlight, which is what an OVA should do. And yeah, so next week I'm watching this movie. No spoilers, but I'm going to like look at this file wherever it may be. Revue Starlight movie. If I right click and then go properties, then go details, I can see that it's 2 hours long. So I need to clear 2 hours out. And then I don't know how much of that I'm going to be able to go through kind of frame by frame and pick apart and do that kind of thing. So that'll be a bridge we cross next week at some point. I know that now, as of now, I'm doing some overnight shifts, which will be interesting. I'll definitely have time. It's just my sleep is going to be the issue there. Um, sleep when you're dead, I guess. We have Revue Starlight to watch. But either way, yeah, I quite enjoyed my time here today, which is good. It's good that I enjoy what I do. And yeah, I apologize for this being late as well, but hopefully I've done the 2 episodes justice, and we can dive in next week for that kind of thing. Then we'll have to put up a new poll and figure out what we're watching next, which will be fun too. yeah, I enjoyed everything I did today and 2 days ago. So yeah, I guess the only thing left to do is show stuff. Like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation. Comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you'd like me to follow you back. And the Discord. Join Discord. Love Discord. Discord. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next week for the Revue Starlight movie, unless some people like really at me like, you need to do Rondo now, which I don't think is the case. But yeah, I'll catch you all next week. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.